Hey, what's up guys? It's level 23 on my account, casually playing after work every day. I've been having a lot of fun and I want to give my first impressions for anyone that's still on the fence. Wuthering Waves has been a pleasure to explore. You can tell Kuro Games looked at Genshin to see what doesn't work with their open world. They turned off a lot of the fat from Genshin to make their game.
Wait, that's illegal.
I enjoy how Kuro crafted their world and the general character design. The aesthetic of the character design makes me nostalgic for when I grew up playing Final Fantasy. The only thing they're missing are cringe belts and zippers everywhere. Catch on in this game's literally Sephiroth. He's the man. Also, the world itself is wonderful to look at. Kuro managed to make a world that has bright vistas and dark post-apocalyptic areas that aren't dreary to look at. And I never get bored exploring the beautiful world Kuro's made. There's a lot of variety in the puzzles they have and a really low downtime in between fighting enemies. Another thing I love about Wuthering Waves is how good exploration feels. The only game that feels better than it is Elden Ring. There's not a lot of games like Wuthering Waves to compare to, so I'm going to use Genshin as an example. If you run 2 feet in Genshin Impact, you're going to run out of stamina. You can run as far as you want in Wuthering Waves. It's so good that I barely even noticed that there's a stamina bar. The only thing that you use your stamina for in Wuthering Waves is for combat and for running up walls. Compared to Genshin, Wuthering Waves feels really fast. You're not gated by what character you have. You don't need a Venti or a Scaramouche to defy gravity. Every character can run up walls. There's so little friction in the open world exploration in this game that when I do get stuck running into a ledge, I'm just like, whoa, slow down, I didn't even know that could happen. Well, Vicitive, how would you fix this problem? I'm glad you asked. I think there should be a contextual X prompt above your head when you get stuck. Because not everyone who is going to play Wuthering Waves is going to have the experience from Genshin to know that you press X to jump off a wall. If the devs really want to get a 1-up on Genshin Impact, what they need to do is add mounts. Now if they do these things, the exploration in the game is going to feel perfect. Alright, let's talk about combat. I didn't know what to expect from the game heading into it. I heard somewhat that there was going to be a big focus on the hardcore combat, so I was worried that I wouldn't get to engage with the game's mechanics very well, because I thought it'd be just really difficult. It turns out I was completely wrong. I didn't have anything to worry about. The early game is hilariously easy. The open world is a primer that lets you learn about the game's mechanics at your own pace, so that when you get to the end game, you can decide whether or not you want to engage with the hardcore content. I was really surprised when I started playing the game because it let me jump into combat right from the start, and it didn't bog me down with tutorials either. The combat is as simple as you dodge and you put in a counterattack. See a character icon glow off to the side, you swap to them and you do a ton of damage. The game's really well made, and I think even if this was my first action game, I would be able to jump in and have a lot of fun with it. My only problem with the game's combat so far is that I don't feel like I can zoom the camera out far enough. There's a lot happening off screen, so when a boar dashes at me from behind or something ranged hits me off screen, I feel like I can't engage with the game's dodge mechanic. It feels a little bit bad. It's not that enemies in the overworld do a lot of damage, it's just that it doesn't feel completely fair when they're hitting me off screen. It would feel a bit better if the field of view slider could be expanded a little bit so I can have a near isometric view like Hades or Diablo, so I can see everything that's happening in combat. There's a lot more I want to talk about with the game, but considering this is a first impressions video, I want to close it out and give some final thoughts. There's a lot of reasons why I'm in love with this game. It's a really addictive action game with a collectathon aspect to it. It reminds me of when Ubisoft made good games. The characters in the game are also really well designed, like there's Calcharo who's a badass and a tomboy like Shichia. Sorry for butchering her name. If you decide to play Wuthering Waves, just let it be free to play. These characters are great, but you don't need them, and this company does not need your money. Plus, it's a skill-based game, so spending money just ruins that experience. What I love the most about Wuthering Waves so far, and just to close this video out, is that there's nothing in the game that's going to arbitrarily waste your time. I just get to log into the game after work and have fun. That's why I would recommend it to anyone.